Hey guys, it's Brian over here again. My sincerest apologies to my subscribers. It's been a little bit since I've made some content because my personal life has been a little bit crazy. I moved, so that was a process for sure. And the store's been a little bit light staffed and we got more inventory and we've been having, waves of busyness. Despite what other YouTubers are saying, there's still business going on at the dealerships. So, I've been very busy with that as well. And I felt that with my personal life being so crazy and me being spread thin at the store, I just didn't have the mindset and the bandwidth to give you the quality content that I wanted to. But with that all aside, I'm back and 2024 is here. It's a whole new fresh start and it's a whole new year. We're sitting in a car that I was really looking forward to doing with you guys. We're sitting in the 2024 Toyota Corolla SE Hybrid all-wheel drive. Let's check it out. That's right, you can get yourself a Corolla that has all-wheel drive and a very large driving range because it's hybrid for under $30,000. Now, I know that might sound crazy at first, but when you see in this video what you're getting for your money, you might just want to go and take a look at one of these cars, because not only is it going to be great in the bad weather or get you down some of those gravel trails that the front-wheel drive has a hard time with, it's going to save you a lot of gas no matter where you go. So, we're going to start with the exterior of the car. We will talk about the engine and drivetrain. We'll take it on a small test drive, and then we'll get inside. Let's begin. So the Corolla's been around for a long time. It's one of our staple vehicles. When you think of a Corolla, I have to go back to price real quick. You think of spending about $20,000. But today we're not talking about a $20,000 Corolla. We're talking about a Corolla where you spend a little bit more money and you get a lot for what you're spending. So just keep that in mind while we review it together. This is the SE, so it's one step above the base model, which is the LE. And this is the hybrid variant of the car. So it's not a special Nightshade edition. This is just your typical SE hybrid. It just has the all-wheel drive drivetrain. But we'll discuss that later on. Right now we're just going to talk about the exterior. So starting with the front, my favorite part of the car. Something that we're used to seeing with the SEs since they started with this generation. We have some wide cheeks on the car. Yes, I'm using the term cheeks. The sides of the bumper definitely give you a very sporty wide appearance. And on this Corolla being black, we have a dark gray lip that goes on the bottom here and wraps up around the grille. That really plays nicely with the black. Of course, we have the blue shadowing on the badge, signifying that it's a hybrid. And has a very open, wide grille, which is signature to the SEs. And we have these swishes and dashes. There's a lot of square, sharp edges on the front. You would notice on the LE version of this car, it's going to be a lot more rounded. And new for 2024, instead of our triple J's that we're used to seeing, we have a single swish that wraps around like this with the LED projector in the front here. There's no separate projector for the high beams. Not that there ever was, but there's a mirror inside that actually flips for the high beams. And the lighting is very nice at nighttime. This larger LED boomerang, or whatever you want to call it, that lights up the hall turn signal. So let me show you that real quick. Definitely a lot more light presence than the previous iteration of this lighting system. I'm definitely a lighting guy, and I love how much space and presence that bright orange has. Definitely great for daily driving and for the looks. Working our way to the side, nothing new here for 2024. It is the same TNGA frame that we're used to seeing on the Corolla since 2020 when this generation began. However, these 18-inch wheels that come with the SE, they changed up the color scheme here, which is nice. So typically on the SE, you would see a dark gray with a machined finish that played with the light. But now we're going full, looks like a magnetic gray here. Let me get some of this rainwater off. It's a nice polish to it. So that's a dark gray, gonna be a little bit more incognito style. And like I said, these are 18-inch wheels with a much more low profile tire. This one has the Yokohamas on it. I have a XSE hatchback from 2021 that has these wheels and tires, and it drives really good. So you'll definitely be happy with the drive on the SE. But we're still talking about looks. If you've seen my Corolla videos before, you may hear some repeats here, but the mirrors are on the door, which is really nice for visibility here. So you got lots of glass. Back to the body here, we have a little bit of a side skirt here that definitely kind of plays with the light nicely because it's kind of like tilted up, and you can see it really catching the light very nicely on this black Corolla. So as you're driving around, that's going to change. Adds a lot of nice three-dimensional look to the car. Working our way to the back. Same thing we're used to seeing here. We got these two-tone colored lights, kind of like a JDM style. The white and red tails with the ground effects on the bottom. Dual exhaust on the passenger side. I haven't seen enough of these to know what they're doing, but I'm assuming this color is going to be the same. It's going to be the black on all of them. I could be wrong. This is actually the first one of these that I've seen. And of course, the traditional red SE badge with hybrid. On the back, there's a little lip spoiler that comes standard on these, right on the trunk. So it's nice because there's not a lot of drama with this car. It doesn't look like a try-hard car, but it definitely has some cuts and edges, you know, to let people know this is not your typical Corolla. Let's pop the hood and talk about the powertrain. Underneath the hood of the Corolla Hybrid SE, we have the 2ZR FXE, which is a 1.8 liter four-cylinder, giving you 138 horsepower and 156 foot-pounds of torque, which is 5 more torque than the gas model. For gas mileage, we have just a smidgen less than the front-wheel drive variant. We have 47 miles per gallon in the city, 41 on the highway, with a blend of 44 miles per gallon. Now keep in mind, this is on an all-wheel drive Corolla, so you are sacrificing a little bit of that efficiency, but this car is going to really have your back when the snow starts falling or if you drive on dirt roads. When we look at the overall design here, it looks very complicated, but if you take some of this stuff off and you really start nitpicking the engine, we still have a simple four-cylinder Toyota engine with a cooling system for the engine and a cooling system for the hybrid. This is not new technology. It's been around for a very long time. Still a nice big old traditional car battery that's easy to get to. Different parts of the hybrid system over here. And of course we have crucial wires marked in bright orange. God forbid you got into an accident. The first responders know exactly what they can and cannot cut. And still like a regular Corolla, fluids are easy to see, like my brake fluid. So I can see where I'm at and what the color is. I can check fuses. You can even get to those LED bulbs pretty easily right here. But that's enough talking about what's under the hood. Let's go behind the car and talk about what we have for cargo space. Once the trunk is popped, you're greeted with 13.1 cubic feet of cargo space. And if you see this in person, it's definitely bigger than you thought it would be. And for those that wonder, no, you're not sacrificing any space by getting the hybrid. Because, you know, on certain Toyota models, you do actually sacrifice a little bit of cargo space. I'm shouting out the Tundra right now. Underneath here, too bad I'm a lefty, we have some tools and a tire inflator / repair kit. Now, unlike some of the competition, these seats do fold down in a 60-40 split. Now, it's not like the Camry where I have a little pull thing over here. You have to go inside and push a little button down and they will fold right down. Let's jump inside and talk about what it's like inside the Corolla SE. So hopping on into the back. Now I'm very familiar with a Corolla because I have family members that have had Corollas, and I have a friend that has a Corolla just like this one. Just to show you real quick, to fold the seats down, there's a little button over here, and all you do is you push the button down, you pull the seat towards you, down she goes. And they can both go down together. So if you're going to college, or if you're into snowboarding, or you just have a lot of luggage, or you have a small dog that likes to have a fort and go in and out, use your imagination. Very easy to do. And they're lightweight, they click in very easily. Also a nice armrest here with cup holders, very simple, plops right down on the cushion. The anchor points here for the car seats are easy to get to, with little covers. And what I talk about in a lot of my reviews, is how, unlike some of the other cars out there, when you're one-handing the seatbelt, it clicks right in, and these buckles, no matter how hard you push, they don't get lost, which is really nice. Me standing at 5'10", I have the driver's seat where it would be for me driving, so keep that in mind. Let's have a seat in the back of the Corolla. Got about 6 to 7 inches of space here, both sides. If I spread my legs a little bit, I'm comfortable. I'd say my shoulder comes up to about here. I definitely can feel that the roof is a little close to my head, but not too much to be uncomfortable. Plenty of space to look around. The driver's seat headrest is definitely in my face. However, if I'm looking this way, I really don't feel trapped at all. What I like about the Corolla is the windows are big, so you're not going to feel claustrophobic if you're an adult sitting in the back. I personally like how they're doing this very light gray with the black, and of course red stitching for the SE, which to me looks a lot better than the blue stitching. Some people really liked that blue that they did. However, to me, red and black is definitely the sportier combo. The armrests are soft, but you can feel the hard door frame underneath. They're not super plush. Definitely didn't expect it to be super plush, but they seem to be right in the right space. I like, instead of the plain Jane plastic handles, we actually have a nice sparkly silver finish over here that's not too shiny. Dual USBs come standard in the back. No ventilation. At the 28,000 and change mark, I would have liked to see a vent in the back. I mean, I have a Tacoma that doesn't even have the vent in the back, but that would have been nice to see. The all-weather floor mats are pretty much standard on Toyotas, especially up north where I am in New York. And nothing new. They have these nice channels that trap the slush and the dirt and everything nicely all year long, so it doesn't slide around all over your carpet. Overall, the cushion is comfortable. Let me give you an up close of the material. So we have this little fake ribbon here that's just a design, and kind of like a jersey material on the seat. Definitely something that would be easy to clean. And if you look close enough, we have these little tiny pockets. That feels really good on you on the hot days. So I'm familiar with this. The 4Runner does a great job at this on the SR5s. These little pockets really do help you manage your body temperature, and I think nobody really gives Toyota credit for that because it's there and a lot of people don't notice it. They just say the seats are comfortable, but they took the time to develop this. And this is the kind of thing that you see on the back of book bags. It really helps out on the hot days. It really, really helps out, which is nice. Opening up the door so you can see a little bit better. I have a handle here, which is just in the perfect spot for me. It's not way over here like in the Camry, especially on those front doors. And for storage, lacking a little bit. I mean, we have the speaker over here, so we have a diagonal bottle holder. Definitely not going to fit your Stanleys and your Yetis and all the popular stuff that people are into. And to critique the armrest, same as we've always seen. So if you've ever sat in a Corolla, it's been the same. Simple, small. You won't fit the very large stuff in there. You got to get the adapter. Let's go to the Copilot seat. Getting into the Copilot seat of our new 2024 Corolla Hybrid. Looks like this. So onto the door card real quick. I really do like the lighter material here. Yes, it will get a little dirty, but keep a pack of baby wipes and wipe it up once in a while and clean your car. You'll be fine. A little bit more spongy in the front here. So in the back, I can feel that hard door frame, the door card underneath. This has a little bit more sponginess to it, kind of like the dashboard. Some red stitching. I like this little silver stripe that just breaks up the black and it adds dimension with the handles. And a little bit more storage up here. Really nothing crazy. I'll say it is small storage, but remember, we're in a small car. And those traditional Toyota all-weather mats with the black lettering now instead of gray like it used to be, because the gray just kind of gets dingy really fast. The seat is manual with just a recliner and a slider, so we don't have the height adjustment that you would get on some manual seats. To be expected. Keeping things simple here. I have to say I'm definitely a sucker for the gray and black combo here. It adds a lot of dimension, and it really, just to me, it looks modern. It looks nice. Some people might not like it. Some people like the all black. But moving forward, we have the matching stitching. This is like a moonstone finish. Spongy material here, which is nice instead of super hard plastic to scratch up. I like that they went with the higher quality dash. our new software system, which I have a separate video for that you can watch. For the glove box, it's actually better than the Camry. So shout out to the Corolla team. Bigger glove box than the Camry, because that Camry has that driver dash that cuts space over here. Of course, we have the piano black that is signature to the Corolla. Love it or hate it, it's there. I like it. Yes, it will smudge. Yes, it will scratch. Call it patina. I think that gooey, chocolatey, shiny finish here, it just adds a little bit. To me, it's good. It adds a little bit of that piano finish. I like it. I think it works. Some people really hate on it, but to each their own. I think it just adds that nice little touch of shininess that you really need to enjoy the interior. And another thing I like, opposed to the base model, is the black upholstery on the ceiling here. So we got, well, it's a super dark gray fabric, but we'll call it black. That's really nice, and it plays nicely with the light color here, so your eyes can ignore the top, and it creates a nice contrast with the outside of the windows here. But without going on too much of a rant being a co-pilot, let's jump into the driver's seat, the most important seat, before we take it on our test drive. And the moment you've been waiting for, here's what it's like getting inside a brand new 2024 Toyota Corolla SE Hybrid all-wheel drive. What a name for a car. The door card for the driver is going to be the same. We have our auto up and down windows right here on the driver's door, which is great. Manual seat standard. We have our height adjuster and a recliner. Slider over here. Yes, we still have a lever for the trunk. Locking floor mat on every Toyota. Let's get inside. I mean, how else do you say it? The visibility is awesome in the Corolla, especially if I put these up. I can see everything around me. I can see these Tacomas, the Volvo, everything. When I'm driving around, I can make a turn and I can see. It's great. We'll talk about that in a couple minutes. The steering wheel is awesome. You've heard me say it before. I love leather-wrapped steering wheels. I just love the way they feel. I don't think I could even own a vehicle without one. I know that sounds funny, but if I bought one without it, I'd probably buy the wrap and put it on myself, because to me, this is just great. I love that we're getting this, and we should get this for the money we're spending. Lots of controls on the steering wheel for our cruise control, couple safety systems, and arrows for the MID, which is the little screen in the middle. And that's our helper screen. That's going to give us lots of information, which we'll do in the tutorial together. I can even see what my all-wheel drive system is doing. Lots of stuff. And that's a simple reader gauge. So we're not getting that LCD display here, that giant, rainbow speedometer. I actually prefer the analog gauges that we get with the needles. I'm super old school, so I'm liking that we're keeping it analog. Definitely a good move on Toyota's part, because it's way easier on the eyes, and it works. We don't need to reinvent the wheel, guys. I don't like having a giant screen as a speedometer. I think this is great, and if you get this car, you'll definitely appreciate this, because it's so easy on the eyes. Same thing here as Corollas have always been. This does not fold, it does not go down, but if you're sitting in the right position with the seat, it blends right into the dash, and it works great. The new software system, which I have a separate video on, is very fast. It responds very quick to taps, which is good. I really like that we're keeping the climate control separate, not integrated into the screen. So it's simple here with our buttons and our two big dials. No dual zone on this car, so we just have fan speed and the temperature. That's fine for me. Really, you don't need it in a Corolla, in my opinion. Now, speaking of features, there are a couple different packages you can get on the Corolla SE Hybrid. Let's go over those real quick. There are two packages available for the Corolla SE Hybrid. The first one is the SE Convenience Package, which gets you the blind spot warning system, which are the yellow lights on the corner of the mirror when somebody's in your blind spot. When you signal, they'll strobe. And that blind spot system also gives you rear cross traffic alert, or RCTA. So while you're in reverse, if the car senses that there's anything moving around behind it, mostly cars, sometimes people, it's going to give you a unique 4-beep sound to let you know to really pay attention because it senses movement. The second and last package available for this car is the SE Premium Package, which will get you 3 items. The blind spot monitor system that I mentioned with the rear cross traffic alert, a power tilt and slide moonroof, of course with a sliding shade, and wireless phone charging, which I suspect would be right in here. The armrest is very comfortable. It feels very similar to the rear door, so, you know, it's soft, but I can feel the hard frame underneath. That one over there, that's a little bit more plush, but it works. And inside, typical Toyota, a USB and a 12-volt charger. We have these 2 little channels for wires for when we're running phones and accessories. Nothing special up top over here like on the old school RAV4s, but it works, and it works really well, and it feels sturdy. So this pretty much summarizes the interior, trying to keep things concise. Let me get a plate on this car so we can take on a quick spin, and then we will wrap up this review of the Corolla SE Hybrid. This car comes standard with Toyota's smart key system. So you leave this in your pocket and you can grab the door handle and it unlocks. You can also tap the handle to lock it. So you never really need to touch this. So to start the car, I push the brake and I just give this a quick push. And with it being a hybrid, we know the car is on, not because we hear the engine, but because we see the ready symbol over here. And you might wonder, how does the hybrid system work, especially with an all-wheel drive? There's no mechanical connection between the front and back axles. You actually have a little engine, well, a little motor over here that powers the front wheels through the transmission, and they communicate electronically. So there's a little motor back here that powers the back wheels. So when the car deems it necessary to have all-wheel drive, it'll just flick on the motor and it'll give you the back wheel power, and you're going to gain that traction. This car charges itself, and you don't need to plug it in, and you can't plug it in. You just put gas in it and use way less. And we're off. So I'm about a third throttle in sport mode. I definitely hear the gas engine. It didn't take a lot of work to get up to speed. Like I mentioned, the visibility is really good. All right, now let's give it a little bit of juice. I'd say for a small car, it gets up to speed really good. We're not paying for a performance car, but definitely gets up there just fine. This being a TNGA frame, it handles the turns really nicely, which I don't have any crazy turns around here that I can show you, but rest assured, you can get online and read about it. The TNGA Toyotas handle really nice. Once I start braking, those regen brakes start powering the battery. Love this visibility. And on your SEs, you have a firmer suspension than the LE. You got those upgraded tires. It handles like a dream. You can really pick up some speed and just kind of wail through the mountains without worrying about getting 20 miles a gallon like you can in some gas model cars. Very happy driving a Corolla. The only downside to driving the Corolla, if I was to pick one, because I know us biased Toyota people tend to not even talk about the downsides, is if you like a really quiet car, the 4-cylinder kind of screams a little bit. Once you're up to speed, it doesn't sound like it's working, but the 4-cylinder definitely makes the noise. On the Camrys, it's not quite as loud, but the eCVT transmission, which by the way is not your typical CVT, it creates that noise because it works the engine in a slightly different way. If you can get used to that, or you're not too worried about that, you'll be fine. Let's wrap up the video. And there we have it, guys. We talked about the 2024 hybrid Corolla SE all-wheel drive. We looked at the outside, the inside, drivetrain, and we drove it. I think this car will be a great car for many people. I think it's definitely worth spending a little bit more money. For some people, you know, you're 23 on the LE gas. For a couple more grand, let's call 5 grand a couple grand these days. I think you're getting a really good car that's got the extra goods, and it's getting you the gas mileage that's going to pretty much pay for the extra money you spent, you know, if you're driving enough miles. And to my subscribers, you guys are very dear to me. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for standing by me and not giving up when I went MIA for a little while. Life just got crazy. But we have more stuff coming for 2024. Let me know what models you want to see. As you've heard and can see, inventory is starting to come back, which is really nice. Base models are selling super quick, so it's hard to get my hands on those. But with that being said, I hope you liked the video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like. And, you know, share with somebody that you think might benefit from this video. Please be sure to check out the links in the description. There's some useful stuff in there. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.